function, and since it's a placeholder on a function, it's feeding on something, and what the function is feeding on is called value. Some programmer will call it attributes, right? So then I was not saying that it is not compulsory that it must be one. A a parameter can be two. Let's say I want to say I hate so so and so, then I pass it something here. I said I love to eat. I love to eat. Then sorry, let me put a space here so that it will be wide. I love to eat, let's say, beans. Sorry, I'm gonna call food. So what I will pass inside here now, I'm gonna pass what I love to eat. What I love to eat is what? Is beans. Beans and bread. Beans and bread. So if you save it, what are you seeing here? Hello world, Monachi. I love to eat beans and what? Bread. You can see that these are the two arguments that I'm passing inside. Do you understand? So a function can carry more than one parameter. Let me quickly write another simple program again. This function is to add two number, but I'm not going to pass the number inside my program. Sorry, I'm going to pass the number as an attribute. Let's say this is number one. This is, let's call this one n1, and this one is what? This is what? N what? N2. Sorry, N2. Oh, that one is n2. Then what am I returning? I'm returning n, sorry, n plus what? N1. So I'm returning n plus n1, right? So that's why I am looking at. I've already defined this function before. Why am I using it again? I have it here. Let's say num, add num. Let me just make it separate. Add num. Then inside here now, this console.log, I'm going to call the add num. Remember, these are numbers. Let's say 40 comma 70. My result should be I'm expecting a result of 1 110. So add what? Add num. Are you seeing what I'm having? I should have 110. Are you getting it? You can be my guest.
110.
Yeah, you can be my guest and change it. So you can just write a function to add two numbers using parameter what? Method. I've told you about calling a function. You call a function with your function name. Very important to declare a function with a function keyword. The work of the return statement inside the function is to print out the result of the what? Of the function. Is that okay? But you know, if it is Python, you'll be using print statements inside the function. In JavaScript, we make use of what? A return statement. Now quickly, let's also talk about function scope. Let's look at function scope. Function what? Scope. Now there are two scope in function, which is the local scope and the global scope. Some programmer will call it global variable, local scope, and what? Global what? Global scope. Some programmer will call it local variable and what? Global variable. So how do you know? I'll just use my previous example to translate on that, so that I will move ahead. Now let's say, for example, you see that did I declare a no? I've not declared any variable here. I didn't declare it here. I think that means I have to give an example. Let's say I declare a function, like a function of age. This function is to get age. All right, is to get age. Then I have my parameter inside here. I have my curly brace open and what? Close. That's to show that's my function. I want to get the name. Then I also want to get the age. The name. I also want to get the what? The age. So if I say name equals to Felix. Felix, what's your full name? Felix what? Felix what?
Every EBRI.
Ebri. So
Yes.
name equals to you can see that JavaScript is telling me that what am I doing? I didn't declare it. So either you use const or you use what? Let. You be in a very very good shape like that. Now look at what I want to do. I want to print out something. Remember we are using, let's say I'm using a return statement because I want to use console. I said return name. I said return name. So the next thing I said, I passed something there, plus, sorry, my bad, name. Then I said is, name is, I don't know, uh, the person is, then I say concatenate, then I am looking at what? Age. Remember, age is also there. Then I said the last thing I'm concatenating there is years what? Hold. So look at it now. This is a function with a parameter that I've declared. It means that this particular function get age require one argument to work, right? So I have to supply the age of the person. So if I call the function here, that will be console the log. Console the log. My function name is get what? Age. So I'll pass my parameter inside here. Remember, it's a number. Let's say this person is 30 years old. Alright. Are you saying if Felix is 30 years what old? Name was declared inside the function. This one is what is a parameter. This one is a parameter and this one is a what? A value. Do you understand? Now, but my concept here is telling you guys about the local variable and the what? The global variable. Let's say outside here I say console.log, sorry. Console.log, I said I'm looking for full name. You can see that I don't have access to full name. I don't have access, sorry, is name that I call it. If I run this program, I will be in a very, very big problem with JavaScript. Uh, Console.log, I said what? Name. So do you see any of the name coming out? So he said, uh, this one is coming from inside the function though, so it's not part of it. So what is telling me here, you can even see he's telling you it's undefined. The declaration was marked as depreciated here because I did not define it. So it means that the name that I have here, alright, is a local word scope. A local variable or a local scope is only active inside the function call. When you try to call the function outside the function call, it will not give you results. Do you understand? Do you understand? So to salvage this condition, this situation, the best solution, all right, I'm going to leave the one that did not work, and hey, I'm going to have problem, but just bear with me. Probably what I will do here, I'll duplicate this, all right, then I'll comment one out. So this one will go up now. Now when this one comes up here, now check here now, uh name, because I use const, right? Are you saying that when I pass it on 29, I have access to Felix Ebri? Now Felix Ebri on this part is a global scope, but Felix Ebri, sorry, name on this part is a global scope, but name on this part is a local what? Scope. Please, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Now function in JavaScript are just like tools in real life. They make coding what easier. Instead of writing a block of code over and over again, you can just what? Reuse the same code again and a what? And again. Look at it now. Let's say I want to trigger, which function do I have here? That shows this age and blah 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 stuff. Let's say I want to trigger this multiple times, this statement multiple times, just blah 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 blah. It's going to be writing that statement again. You see that it's having a reoccurrence of it, but normally you're going to be writing it again and again and again. That's not programming. That's a problem. You are giving yourself a problem, okay? In programming, always use the shortest route. Always use the shortest route, okay? So that's function for you, all right? Then we are going to take a step ahead and look at the other kind of other examples in the advanced aspects of a function. In the advanced aspect of what function, we'll now be looking at the arrow function. All the functions are
Hello, sir.
this. Yes, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Sir,
Hello.
please. Yes. Sir, please. This part of function,
Mm.
is it the same thing like is it the same thing like dictionaries?
No, 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 no. Ah, you are going to another programming language. Oh. Dictionary is for Python. Function is function in JavaScript. Function is what you use to carry, so you carry a lot of things. But what Python did, Python has separated all these dictionary. Dictionary is an array in Python. Is what they call array, but function is different. Hmm? Function is different. Function is just like a pseudo code to carry a bulk code, or to carry a statement for a particular what task that you want to what carry out. So going forward, let's quickly look at the other concept, arrow words. Let's look at arrow function. So since we have looked at this simple function, let's look at the arrow function. Now what arrow function says is this: the arrow function expression is a compact alternate to the regular word function. All right, you are meant to know it. Let's say you remember this function. Now I'll just take an example of this. Let me give an example of this. I'll write it in the arrow function method. I have this one like this. All right, so in the arrow function method of this, what arrow function say we should do is to use your const, which is under the ex6. So you are going to say const. I'm going to change the function because it will flag error. I've declared it up there before. Let's say const say hello. Const say hello. So what they say we should do next, you pass something like this. Then you now pass your arrow. This is why they call it arrow. Alright, this is why they call it arrow. So this one now, your statement can come. Let's say, yeah, I said say hello Abby. Name equals to King David. Name equals to King David. I'm having a problem. It has to be declared. Let's name equals to King David. Then I'll see inside the function I say return return good evening. So what I'm going to pass here, I'm going to pass in words name. So this is the same thing. If I call this thing here, I'll be in a very good shape. I can say console the log. What's my function name? Say what? Say hello. Your bracket open and close inside. See my cursor. Good evening, King what? King David. Are you getting it? Are you getting
Yes,
it?
sir.
So now the other method now is how do you uh uh the arrow function can go in different way. It can go in one way. If I want to do my arrow function in one way, this type of a statement, I want to do it in one way. Let me do another one. One line, let's say one way arrow function. All right, one way arrow function. If I want to do it in one way, I'm going to say I'm not going to use that CLO again. I'm going to use another word, cons uh, uh, greet. Cons greet equals to, are you see what I'm having? Then I can say the I have this, my curly brace. Then I will now pass, instead of me to pass them inside bracket, I can just say equals to hello, equals to hello, hello world. Now if I call this function, I will still be in a very good shape. So if I come here and I say console console.log, what my function name, my function is name is what, is greet, Abby, is greet. So this is a one-way method of calling a function, hello world. Are you seeing it? I can also say, okay, since I have a statement, I can say alert, trigger alert. I can say trigger an alert. Alert is one of the done method that work on your browser. Are you seeing it? Hello world. So whatever I pass here will be triggered on your browser. Alright, whatever I pass here will be triggered on your browser. So you can pass in alert. This is one way. Majorly, we don't use this type of a function because it will get you confused, especially when you are having a multiple statement to pass inside. So you get confused using that one way function. Now we looked at the arrow function of the callback function, sorry, the callback function of the parameter and argument. Remember the previous one we looked at it in the normal function. Okay, so how do you use a callback function that is having a parameter and argument? It's very easy. All right, let's say with a callback function, I'm writing a program to multiply three numbers. Please permit me to comment this or out. It will going to be giving me problem. So with parameter and argument, let's say I'm writing a program to multiply. Please take note, a arrow function, a callback function, make use of cost. This function is to multiply, let's say, three numbers, or yeah, let's use three numbers. I have this here, put this your arrow there, put this there, you have your curly brace open and your curly brace close. Are you getting it? You can see it's a very fine function. All right, I love it, man. Now I have something like this here. Now let's say I want to do one or two. The first thing that you should expect me to do is to come and be saying 1 plus 1 and this and this. All right, but let me use the parameter. Okay, this parameter was even explained. Let's say my n1, my n2, and what, my n what, 3. So what I should pass here is going to be a return. As I said, return n1 with multiplication is asterisk, n2 multiplication again is what, is asterisk, n what, n3. So I have something like this here. All right, now this is a parameter callback function. It means that I need a value for this guy to be fed upon. So if I come here and I said console.log, what's the value? Let's say I want to say I have 40 times 4, 40 times 4, or 40 times 2 times 10. All right, check my results. 40 times 2 times what, 10. See what this guy is giving me. Oh, are you seeing? Because I did not call the function name. My
So I've
function,
not converted them to integer.
no, I didn't call the function name. So my function is small.
Oh,
So if you run it now, you get your answer. 40 times 2, that's 80. 80 times 10, that's 800. So you can also use your parameter inside your arrow function. Inside your arrow function, please. It's called arrow function. Now let's make this program more reasonable. I'll just write one program, then I'll communicate with the browser, then I'll call it a day, then I'll give you an assignment. Now let's say I want to be able to click a button and change the color of something on my browser. One, let's say let's goes back to our HTML. Should I use this one? Should I use this one, or should I use this one? Let me use show. Let me use show. Then I have a button. I want to put it. I have a button. So let's say button. My button is change color. All right. Now this button is going to be having a class. Please, oh, I told you guys, oh, a class, because student, when you start using student JavaScript now, their brain will not be what you are doing, because they will just be carried away by the that is difficult. So my button here now is having a class of what? Of btn, isn't it? My button is having a class of what? Btn. Is your css that you use to do whatever style you want to style? That one is not my business, but I just want to use JavaScript to do something there. Then I am interacting it with this. Let's say I gave this one an ID. I gave this one ID of that's a text. I gave the text ID of what kind of ID will I give this text now? Let's say I give it an ID of head, an ID of head. I go to my JavaScript. All right. So I want to pass it inside a function, and I want to use the arrow function. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to declare a function, arrow function const. Then the function is touch. So I'm using different names so that you know the best convention. Your first is not compulsory you use first letter. Touch me, but make sure you use camel cases. Touch me. Then I have something like this here. All right, I have this outside here. So what am I doing inside? Remember, I have two things here. My btn was given a class of what? My button was given a class of btn abi. Then I can say, I can define it before I start using it. Const, a global variable. Const, sorry, my bad. Btn equals to, the class is what? The class is what? I gave it a class. That means I'm going to call query what? Selector. I'm going to call query selector. Dot query what? Selector. So what's the class name? The class name is what? Btn. Alright, please always ensure that this thing tallies. If it doesn't tally, it will give you problem. Alright, the class name is what? Btn. Then where this thing will be triggered, I gave it ID. So what I'm just going to do here, instead of me to be define it, I could define it. Okay, I could also define for the text. I could say const. I could say const head with capital word H. Remember the other one is small h. Then that will be, and its ID I gave it. Document. Remember I told you that you can also use query selector for ID. Okay, query selector. Then but in this case now, instead of using hashtag, instead of using dot, you use what? Hashtag. Where's the hashtag now? Alright, use hashtag. The ID is what? Is head. So look at what I'm going to do here now. It's going to be head, which is the text now, dot it is the style that I want to change. Style, I want to change the color. Dot color, let's say I'm changing the color to be red. Alright, you pass your red inside here. Now this function now, I'm going to trigger it in the button when the button is clicked, when this button is clicked. So when you want to trigger a function inside the button when it's clicked, you have to call your attribute called what? On click. All right, on click, what am I looking at? I'm looking at touch what? Touch me. Touch what? I think I copied it. Woohoo, problem. Touch me, where is it? The function name is touch me. It must be the same thing. Touch me. So it's going to be a function. You have to call it as a function. So now, if I click on this, it's telling me that I'm having a big fat error. So where is the error coming from? Let's see. I click. Funny enough, I don't have any error in my program. Oh, see, this one has turned to computed style map. It's style I want. So, are you seeing it now? So, uh, immediately you click on the button, the color rewards will change. Now, how do I make the color to come back? You can set a timer on your function. Alright, but let me just leave it like this. You can do some other thing here. You can increase the font size. You can just do some kind of HTML work inside here. Now, quickly again, I want to still use this function to change the color of the background. I want to use this function to change the color of my the background of my documents. So in that case, what you need to call, you are going to call documents dot style. Document dot style. Please, are you guys with me? Dot
Yes, sir.
background.
Yes, so
Document dot style dot background equals to, let's say I said green. I said green. Click. So I'm expecting this guy to work. Uh, is it window now? I think it's window. Probably window. Let me see. So what's going on? Alright, type error cannot set property of undefined. Oh, wrong spelling. Background. Undefined background. Oh, it's supposed to be background color. Don't mind me. Oh, background color. Click. Alright, cannot set property of undefined background. So it's going to be capital G. So what these people do, they do camel cases. On count error, cannot set property of undefined background. Is it the spelling? Background. Text dot background. I'm correct now. Equals to this. Window dot style dot background. This is correct. Please let me check something. More than this. potato. It said I have issue with the window. The variable head is not defined, which lead to the words. No, 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 no. Okay. I'm supposed to call the body before I call the style. So that was the error I have. But the other variable not defined is not my error because I defined my variable. So this place now, I was supposed to go after I call the document. Hey, problem. Oh. So after I call the document here, then I'll have to call body. So this will tell the this that I'm talking to the body. So let's see. So when you click on the button, it changes to what background. This one means document. Remember, I keep telling you that in my class, I keep telling you that this white space is called document, and it's coming from the acronyms of DOM. DOM means document object model. The objects, the model, you are interacting with your document with a model of what of object. So that's why the DOM method is actually a a word that talked about the white space on your program. So an assignment I'll quickly give you guys now that you do for me. You see this function that we have triggered here. All right, I want you to write this program. This color should turn back after something like 5 seconds. Let it go back to its original color. 5 seconds, go back to the color you gave it. 5 seconds, go back to original color. Please do that for me. I'm going to see it by next week, Abby. Next week, Monday. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right, please. Do you understand what we've just done today? Just elementary stuff. Probably next class we'll look for one small project on function, but then we'll move to conditional statement. After conditional statement, I'll go to React. I'll start React with you guys. So please, any other question?
No, sir.
Felix, are you okay?
Yes, sir. I'm okay, sir.
All right. Good night, everybody. I will drop the video on the platform now. Have a nice day. Please do my assignment too. I beg you.
Okay, sir.